girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easily pretty. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that the stresses can die is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only gone for the secret outside, because I want you to like that. The only reason I can do tonight is because I really like you, and I can no longer hide it. What do I remember your mind then? The laces that goes over your digest. Why just tell me that you feel like I do?
Hi, this is Jessica Javens Talk, Season 1. Welcome, everybody. I'm very excited and happy in this day that we're having a person that brought some amazing topics in our conversation about what she's into. It was actually very intriguing to me. And I am full of questions and I'm so curious about digging in deeper. And you need to stick with us here so you can find out more. By the way, this podcast is about a life that you truly love. It's about transformation and creating that life that you deserve and that you want. So join us on this new journey. So today we have Kim on the show. Welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jessica. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you please share a little bit about you so the listeners know who you are before we dive in?
Okay, well, I'm Kimberly Lacy. Lifer is hyphenated. I am an entrepreneur. I have a construction company. I am a divine feminine woman. I am passionate about bringing women and men into their divinities by remembering what their purposes are. Um, I'm dedicated to my family. I'm dedicated to my own self empowerment journey. A little bit about me.
I love that. Everything is beautiful. I love it. It's amazing how what we're able to do once we tap in into all of those things that are high and elevated and positive. So I want to hear more. So we talked about a lot of different things. The first thing that I would like to go into out of all of those beautiful things that you're involved is the part of about herbs, because I love herbs, and that's something that I use every single day. I add it to everything that I cook. I love to cook for my family. I have 4 kids and I like to be creative with them, and I know about the power of different herbs, right? But you have so much knowledge, and I want you to tell me, what are the common herbs that people have, um, that they have access to. Let's talk about here in America, because this is where we're at. What are the common herbs that people have access to that they can actually start improving their health right away?
I like parsley's one of my top three. Parsley is, parsley obviously is a green leaf. It's packed with chlorophyll. So it's a blood purifier. I'm into the blood purification. I know that once you cleanse the blood, any other illnesses or emotional anxieties and things like that tend to be eased from the body, and you can really control your health. I like to, I, we blend, we'll take a bushel, and you're not asking me for a recipe, but uh, what's cool is like with parsley. Well, I cook with parsley, and I grew up actually cooking with parsley because it's one of the seasonings my mom has put in literally everything that she cooks with, from eggs to pot roast to potatoes, right? The
Yeah.
whole nine. She puts parsley in it. And as I got older, I started realizing the benefits of parsley. Um, but again, the main thing with parsley is that it's a blood purifier, and you can use it as a tea. and blend it, or you can drink it as, like a cold juice. And it builds iron. So for people who's anemic, it
Wow, I
builds
didn't know
iron.
that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And it helps to then in that case build energy, so it's good for all
Mm.
kinds of ailments because it's cleansing the blood. And so we've got a few diabetics in our family, and we've been suggesting, and I say we meaning my husband and I have been suggesting, for them to do a parsley juice cleanse. And you can take a bushel of organic parsley with spring water, like 4 cups to every bushel, blend it and drink a cup of parsley juice cold every day. It's going to boost the libido, cleanse the blood, just start to, it clears your skin. It's really good. It's one of those magic herbs.
Wow.
If I think it's a magic herb, I really do. um I like rosemary. I tend to bathe with rosemary. Do you ever bathe with rosemary?
No, you need to tell me. How do you do that?
Yeah, so rosemary, I mean, you can get the rosemary as just a loose herb in a glass bottle from the grocery store, of
Uh-huh.
course, or you can get rosemary sprigs, same with the parsley, right? You can do dried or fresh parsley. Fresh, I would say, is the way to go in most things when we're talking about medicinal herbs,
Okay.
right? But that rosemary, of course, we can cook with it. It's great, it's beautiful, it's aromatic, it smells
Oh
great.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but I put it in my bath. Like if I've had a long week or a long day, let's just say a long day, I put the rosemary in my bath to really cleanse my aura. The smell is magnificent. It speaks to my heart chakra. It helps me to relax. I like I use basil quite a bit as well. I'm going back, but rosemary is good in meditation, and it helps to reduce anxiety. So, like, let's say one of your kids is taking a test, preparing for a test. I don't know if they can take a rosemary sprig to school, but if they're nervous about the test and they just, kind of smell that rosemary or
Mhm.
an oil or rosemary sprig, it just reduces the anxiety, reduces the tension and the stress, and gives you a clearer mind.
So does the essential oil play a good part on that as well? Like, let's say, I don't know, the oil to smell and also maybe to use it on your skin would,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, I would say definitely an oil to smell, using it because it's, to put it in your bath is totally fine. If so, to get it on your skin, there are lots of lotions and things like that that are infused with rosemary. I think, we should probably use it even more because it's such a good stress reliever.
Wow. Talking about stress. That is something that I think most people need today is all the help that they can get.
Oh
And
my gosh, yes.
yeah, there's so much going on. So everything that can help us, right? That's
Mhm.
wonderful. Okay, so tell me about basil because those are my top herbs. Like I love them so much. Tell me about
Really?
basil. Yes, I love them.
Yeah,
Now that you're saying it, I just want to go and get some right now.
I do. But you know what, Jessica, I have tried to grow basil. And I love plants. I have plants all over my house, and I want to get more into gardening.
That's awesome.
And but basil is one of those things you can grow beautifully in a container, right, in a pot.
Yeah.
I I have to admit, I have not. Well, I'm going to be positive. I'll say it this way:
Okay.
this year is the year that I'm going to grow a big bunches of basil. And I've got to practice. I've got to work at it. I got to make sure I'm not overwatering or something. But this year I'm going to be successful because I just go out and I buy fresh basil. I want to be able to just go pick it
Of
from
course.
my patio, put it in my food, use it for teas because I love it. Because it's also a blood purifier, right? Another leafy green herb. It's a great blood purifier. It's high in vitamin C, boosts your immune. It's good stuff. I cook with it too. I mean, what all do you do with basil?
Oh, my favorite. Yeah, let me tell you, I was introduced to basil in pizza. That was my first memory of basil, is just
Yeah,
having it with pizza, and tomato. So that was my thing.
I
But
think that's the margarita pizza, right?
yes, that's it. That's it. That's how I was introduced when I was a kid. But then I realized that the flavor is just so different than anything else that I tried. Today, of course, I like it with the pasta and stuff, but I really enjoy it in my salad. So if I have a
Yeah.
salad, I like to just put some leaves of basil there. It just gives it that pop of flavor and change it up. I love veggies. I was just talking here with Andre, and he's calling me the vegetable girl because I love
The
all of that.
vegetable girl. Yeah, I do. I love basil. Like I could just eat it. I'll just eat the leaf. It's a weird taste, but I like it because I feel like I'm immediately like, again, with the whole stress, the idea of stress, because like the everyday we're always moving, life is life in.
Mhm.
And it is that it too. I think everything I mentioned to you that I like is helping with the blood and like anxiety. Like basil's good for lowering anxiety. And I would say to eat it, I do less eating it than I do making it in teas. I make it in teas quite a bit.
Really?
It's good for your face too, like a toner for your skin.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Yes. Yes, it helps with eczema, acne, like dry patches and stuff like that too. It
Wow.
brightens the skin. So the same if you're steeping basil to create a tea, you can
Uh-huh.
just put some in like a mason jar or a pitcher, put it
Uh-huh.
in the fridge, cool it off, and you can actually use it as a toner for your face.
Oh, I am so excited right now. I love that. I love that. I'm definitely going to try that. I didn't know that. So thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
So those are, I agree with you. I'm in Florida. That's where I live, and those herbs are available. And I think you pick some good ones. Thank you for sharing that. So Kim, tell me, why are you known as the medicine woman? Let me start that point there, because I know the herb part a little bit. You just showered us with a lot of ideas. Tell me more about that.
You know, I didn't start out as the medicine woman, right? I believe I started out as a woman with what is now considered medicine because we all need it. Like being on the phone with you the other day and we were just chatting it up. You dropped gems for me that was truly medicine, some things I could walk away as a tool to actually use in my day to day, right? From a long time, I would say things when I was a kid, like I was psychic, or I could guess things, like my intuition was like really strong. And when
Wow,
I
that's
when I say
awesome.
I've not always called myself that or claimed that, it was something I had to remember about myself. That though these inner workings, this inner magic, this inner passion that I have for people, for harmony, for justice, for balance. And it is very much a part of our experience in life. I feel like medicines are tools. They're it's knowledge, it's wisdom. It could be a trigger in a conversation. It's advice. I
Mhm.
would say I'm a conduit to provide messages to people, um, and advice. And so people will generally come to me, people that it's not something I'm out here advertising, that I am a medicine woman. Those that know me would consider me as such, based on what their experience is from after speaking with me, talking to me, advising with me. And it's me living, it's me sharing life through wisdom by an experiential circumstance of myself and others. And honestly, intuitively, it is a lot of it is what makes sense to me. And I'll be out anywhere, so it could be personal or public. I'll be out in the public. You get someone that's talking to you, and they have literally used you as a beacon of light, and they dropped some heavy loads that they've been carrying on you, and they get this moment, they're like, I don't know why I just told you all of that. And I'm like, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I find that that's what I'm here for. To be that listening ear, to be a confidant, to provide, again, intuitive insight into what a person is dealing with, whether it be traumatic, um, career advice or whatever. I can really hone in on what a person is thinking and feeling, even if they're actually not vocalizing it.
That's amazing. And I really want to ask you something about one thing you just said, and I feel it's needed. It's the part of intuition.
Mm-hmm.
You are so aware of it, and you've been apparently all your life. Most people are not raised or conditioned to be in touch with their intuition. It's all rationalization. Things need to be done. We need to work. We need to clean. You need to do this. You need to get a job. You need to make money. You need to pay the bills. There is no extensive conversation or methods of how or listen to your intuition. So you just feel these things, and sometimes you just let it go. You don't even pay attention to them, and or you ignore them. Sometimes you don't, but there is no instruction or nothing like that. Because I've been recently learning that, it became so precious to me. And because of your experience, I would like to ask you, how can a person begin a journey or start to tap in and understanding and listening and building up, tuning up their intuition?
I believe it is doing less overthinking and second guessing. You know, it's gonna rain. You don't know that it is. You haven't checked the weather, but there's some innate thought, feeling, or spirit led message that told you to grab an umbrella. You didn't. And you realize, wait a second. And we always say, something told me, or I knew I should have. And it's just being obedient to those calls, those messages, that what seems, we think it's that quiet voice. It's really this innate internal source that's speaking to us, that's guiding us every single moment of every single day. And I believe that the more we are obedient, the more we trust, the more we believe in it, and the more we're led by it. And now we're more in a flow of life rather than life just happening to us. And I feel like the contrast of life happening is all around us, right? But it's just a matter of how we decide to accept whatever it's dishing out, and whatever it's gonna, yeah, however we respond to it. I will say though, I know you're getting ready to say something. I want to just touch on this really quickly because I think this is an important part of having an intuitive nature from an early age, or early on, or before you when you can remember, right? But then there's something that calcifies in that knowing, because life happens. We are programmed through all kinds of things that happen in our lives, and we forget these innate gifts that we have. And sometimes they're never to be rediscovered. Fortunately, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go through hell
Yeah.
to fall on your butt to want to change. And now you're starting to do some internal work, and you're having all these aha moments. Because to me, I think to remember is to live. And then that again, back to trusting yourself, trusting that you got this innate magic, this innate knowing that you don't have to search outside of yourself to really understand where you need to be in life.
That's amazing. I love it. Um, and you're right. And that's the issue that's why I wanted to talk about that, because I think that a lot of people only are able to do that when they are going through a very, very difficult situation. And
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing outside of them that is fixing it. And they
Yep.
have no other option other than tuning in and doing the work,
Yep.
because that's the only way to do it.
The
So
only way.
I think that for me, I had to kind of like start to notice it. I think that was the beginning. First, understand that I have an intuition is saying, no, okay, this is something that it's not just an imagination. It's something that exists. I had to
Right.
wrap my mind around that and then started to pay attention on it. Once
Mhm.
I started paying attention on it, then I started to almost like in a way, in an instrument, like you're tuning it.
Tuning.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Tuning into your frequency.
yes, yes. So I think that this was a very important for people to understand that they don't have to wait. They don't have to just go by life happening, like you said earlier. Uh, but they have so much power in them that they don't realize it. Most people don't realize. I talk about this a lot. We just go by what we see, what we were told, and all of these boxes, and we don't realize that there's so much more.
Yep. There's so much. Do you, Jessica? I'm curious. And we were I think we were getting ready to go there in our last conversation. Do you feel in your work, in your passion, in wanting, seeing, and knowing what how to get to to live a transformative lifestyle, do you feel that, I mean, I'm asking you a question. This is your show.
Please
But
shoot.
do you feel that there are more people looking for a transformative life, looking for that their own je ne sais quoi, like that own feeling and belief in dreaming a bigger dream? Because I feel like what I and I know I asked you a question, and I'm gonna go here with this. I feel like you don't know what you don't want until you experience that in which you don't want. It's like there has to be a contrast in life. There has to be something that's a catalyst to the next best thing for you in life.
I do believe
But there
that.
seems to be more and more people that are looking for what you have to offer. They want to understand who they are.
Yes. Yes. And that's the thing. We sometimes think that we know it all, or we know until we find out that there's more. You don't know. And it just, if you see us just when you're growing up, when you're, I don't know, 10, you think that you know a lot, and then you're 15 and you look back to when you were 10, like, oh wow, there's a lot more than I know today. And then you're 20 and you look back to when you were 15, it's like, oh, I know it all. And it keeps going, and it's endless. And I think that's where you have to remember that, because as an adult, I'm an adult now, I have to provide. What is the expectation? Those expectations. I have to work, I have to make money, I want to have a family. And then you just stick to that, and then you'll realize that there's a lot more than that. I Answering your question, I think the most two types of people that I encounter are the people who are aware that they need to grow constantly, and they do tap into that, and they are constantly growing, which is wonderful because they kind of broke through it. And the
Mhm.
people who need it but don't know they need it.
Yes, you're
Those are the
exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why this podcast is supposed to be tapping into all of these different topics, so people are actually just being curious is already an opportunity, because once you're curious,
Oh yeah.
you're already opening that door. So if they're just curious about it, they're going to start saying, "Hey, let me look into this. Let me see." And they're going to start to look within, and that's when you start to see, and you start taking the actions with all of course, I've had, just like you, I've had amazing conversations with amazing people here, people who have the vision, people who can see, people who have transformed their lives, people who have transformed the lives of others through all of their different things. And I want to be able to inspire, just like you, people to do that the same. Now,
Hmm.
I was going
Hmm.
to ask you a question, because we talked about intuition. And I think that's a problem that people don't tune into, and they need to know, they need to learn that. What are the top 3 things that you would say that people come to you that they need help with? And sometimes they don't even know, right? They're just spilling it all out. Like you said, they don't know. They're just feeling all of that negative or that pain or that discontent, that longing. And they're moving them to talk to you because they need to do something, but they don't know what. What are the
Mhm.
top 3 things, would you say?
What are the top 3 things? What's your
Sure.
exact, what was your
The,
question again?
the top
I'm sorry.
3 problems that you hear people coming to you with.
Okay. Okay.
People are
Right.
really struggling, rather they are aware of it or not.
Right. I think what I hear, I believe the most out of the top, I would say my top is negative thinking and negative talk. That we that as a human race, we are all we not well, no, I don't say we are all because we want to speak positively because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The negative talk, the negative speaking, the feeling of defeat before you get started, the idea that something is not going to go your way, or that there's when it rains it storms. I can't listen to that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I am the one on the other line or in your face that I'm like, wait, stop right there, stop right there. So honestly, I have people that come to me for counseling in some ways. So they are understanding that they are walking into and constantly walking into the brick wall. And sometimes it's just a matter of reprogramming even starting backwards, reprogramming what you're saying if you don't know that you can reprogram what you're thinking. Because the more you put that in repetition, right? Now it's clicking. It's like this engine it's turning. It's moving again. So to be more creative in believing in ourselves and stopping this negative talk, this doubt, and really creating the lives and believing that we can have the life we want to live. Um, so the negative talk, I get a lot of people because I am, and it's all going to seem to maybe roll in together. I talk to people a lot about being in gratitude because we can also sit and think about all the stuff that's going wrong. Because see, again, it all leads back to we're looking at the glass half empty and not half full, right? And so it all kind of leads to the same thing. But to think of the things that you're grateful for, to lead each day with that. I can be sitting in a conversation with someone, and by the time I've listened to them spill their guts and said all the things that are the reasons and why they're unhappy in this instant and in this moment, I'm reminding them of thinking of the things, because I'm again, I can be a triggerer. A healer is just a person, again, a conduit. It's to lead you to where you're going. It's not to do it for you, right?
Right.
And so it's to think of all the things that cause you to be grateful. So it's just to say, for there to be, there's so many things that lead to that same thing of overthinking, negative talk, not feeling that you can do it alone, or not feeling defeated, um not trusting in yourself, dealing with childhood traumas. I get that a lot. I
Really.
get that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I get it because that was probably one of my biggest works and still one of my bigger journeys in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you got to go to the doctor who can prescribe the right medicine based on his practice and his knowing, right? Or his or her
Right.
knowing.
Of
You
course.
don't go to the heart doctor for your foot.
Right.
So I'm certain that I get people, I talk to people and counsel people that have traumas that date back to childhood, because there are things that's when I really delved into getting to know me again.
Mm.
So childhood traumas, I mentioned,
Negative. Okay.
negative self-talk, negative beliefs.
And not being
Um,
grateful enough, you know? It's you're on point. And you know, I had a moment in my life that I had a pattern of negative thinking. I actually thought that being a pessimist, Kim, was protecting me
I've
because
heard
I'm
that.
like, yeah, I'm like, I'm already expecting the worst because if it happens, I'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Why am I going to be positive and then it doesn't happen? I'm just going to crush my heart. So let me be a pessimist. That's when I was a teenager. That's what I believed. And
Mhm.
and then I started to notice, and that's the key, right? To notice. You're paying attention. I started to notice positive people, and I didn't understand what it meant to be positive. I thought that initially it was something like you're wishing or you're fantasizing. Why am I going to waste my time doing that? Let me get to the grit and get it done. And you know, so I didn't allow. But as I got older, I started to tap in deeper. I'm like, but what does it mean to be positive? Like these people are, even though they have issues, they're so happy and they're successful or whatever. How do you do that? And it took me so long to get it. It took me to I think that started maybe a little bit in my 30s, but I really got into it in depth after my 40s, where I
Mhm.
really started to get it. And it required work. It required time because I didn't, no matter how much, for a long period of time, I didn't get it. So I think that if you start just noticing, because that pattern, like you said, if you keep that circle of negative talk, you're becoming an expert in negative talk. You're becoming an expert complainer. And if you say, well, I'm grateful, well, gratitude can go deeper and deeper and deeper, like
Mhm.
deeper to a point where you can get emotional every single day in a good way by being grateful, and where it sets your tone for the day and now sets the tone for your life. It can
Mhm.
change it completely. And now you're opening doors, and you were talking about vibration. It puts you in a different vibration. It puts you in a different creativity level and connection with everything around you.
Mhm. Mhm.
What would you say about this, and maybe a takeaway that the people who are listening to us, Kim, that they can take with them so we can really encourage them to go deeper on this?
Okay. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will be grateful for my many, many blessings. And just for today, I will be kind to my neighbor.
I love that. I got goosebumps all over. I love it. That's very
And yeah, for that repetition, I find that when I'm in a hurry in the morning, I am completely unprepared for the day. When I don't just set those intentions or even just have a quiet moment for 5 minutes, I have to give myself at least 5 minutes to
yeah,
prepare myself for the chaos that exists outside of me.
yeah. I agree with you. If I start a day rushing and I skip that, the day is completely different. Completely different.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing those. Those are amazing key takeaways just for today. Small, and with consistency, it will be huge in your life. The impact,
Mhm.
huge,
Huge.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
You,
constant practice. It's a
yes,
constant practice.
you are starting a new podcast. Tell me about that.
So, that was right on time. So we are working out the name for it, but the idea, behind it is what I believe, my life's work is to what you're doing. It's putting out the information, like to put out the information to reach your audience. There's an audience that needs what you have. We have to be obedient to that. And so whatever my life has brought to me, all of my experiences, all of the people that I know, including yourself, Jessica, you know, I want my podcast to be a platform for understanding that the lessons in your life were meant to drive you and move you forward to fulfilling your life's purpose. You're not just here to haphazardly walk in and bump and just go and just move. It should be on purpose. And if we sit and we think about all the things that we've experienced in our life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and turn it into a lesson for a greater purpose, we become much better people. And so then we're able to quiet the noise and hone in on the lesson. And I really feel like life becomes so good. And so the podcast will be a lot of that, you know. We'll talk about.
I can't wait. Yes, I can't
wait. Yeah. Plant medicines, people's journeys in their lives, how they've healed childhood trauma, you know, how people have quieted the noise, how people are being more creative and creating better lives for themselves and showing examples to the world or how they're able to live a better life.
I love it. I can't wait. Kim, how can our listeners today reach out to you? Medicine.
Okay. So my IG, right? So should I give you my handles?
Please.
Okay. Look, I gotta look for my handles because it's like you put the dot and the dash because someone else has it. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like an old lady. So so there is Sisters Exchange at Sisters Exchange and at Mother Indigo. So the podcast, I'm going to be introducing Indigo, and she is my divine goddess that resides inside. You know, I pull a lot of power from her. So my IG is Mother Indigo. So Mother with a V, not MOTHER. But we'll put that down for your listener.
That is awesome. That's another podcast, man. I want to know more about that.
I know.
Thank you so much, Kim, for coming by. I want to make sure that people get all of that as much as they can. So we're going to have all the links also here on the comments. So make sure that you're following Kim, that you're tapping into her, and keep tuned also because her podcast will be coming out very soon with the I Am Beast network as well. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, that you follow me, and you like this episode. Please share this. A lot of people are not knowing all this information, and they deserve to know it and live a life that they truly love. And starting today, if they just listen to the little things that Kim said. I'm going to wrap up saying that as soon as we're done here, I'm going to get myself some herbs because I'm in Indiana. I'm not in Florida, and I don't have my herbs here with me.
See? Yes. You got to get your herbs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was awesome. I want to also share that this show is brought by Forever Living, which is the best aloe vera juice in the world that helped transform my wellness. And this is produced by the I Am Beast Network. My name is Jessica Javens, and this is Jessica Javens Podcast.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easily pretty. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that the stresses can die is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only gone for the secret outside because